And you have to lean in, and I hope you pay attention to today, because every one of these speakers has been selected for a reason. Every single one of these speakers who in their way are the very best in the world at what they do. And that isn't just, hey, I'm on the stage saying it. I feel so blessed that these friends and individuals are here to share with all of you, because these are some of the best in the world that do what they do.
So be careful of the words you speak. Your tongue is a pen, not a pencil. So you got to be careful when you're frustrated to not say things that you don't mean and not say things that you don't want to happen.
I'm gonna end up in my bed, I'm gonna look up at the ceiling, and I sure as hell do not want to say, I should have done that.
When you stop making it about you and you start making it about your team, everything will shift.
This is an arms race now, you guys. We are no longer in the information age. We are in the intelligence era.
You never know who's watching you. You never know who's paying attention. And if we want to fix what's going on in the world, we have to be examples of what personal excellence looks like.
But I understand my mission and my power and my ability and the gift that God gave me. I want to go share it.
Ben already said it. And this jacket is number 287. The Hall of Fame speech, when I was thinking about it and writing it, I said, I want this speech to be remembered for up to at least 4 generations. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. And I was inducted in 2014. Just down in Baton Rouge about a month ago, somebody came talking about begin with the end in mind and die empty. And that's what I want to leave you with. Begin with the end in mind. So I did something crazy. I allowed my pen to write down whatever was in my heart with no judgments. I'm going to say it again. I wrote down what was in my heart with no judgment. Y'all know what that means? That means stop trying to judge what you can do based on the lid of your family or the lid of your community. There's no lid on you unless you place it and you keep it. So I put on there, I want to be one of the best defensive backs to ever play the game. Now I want to teach you the power of mentorship. I want it to be a complete cornerback. Complete cornerback means I hit you and I can cover you. So I want to be a complete cornerback. So what I did was, and by the way, vision will carry you. And it'll carry you through difficult times. So when I decided I want to be one of the best defensive backs this while in college, I wrote down, I looked in the NFL and I wanted to see what cornerbacks had those traits. Aggressive, great tackler, great cover guy. I didn't find one with it. I found 2. One was a hard hitter, cornerback. The other was a shut down, bump and run corner. One was Ronnie Lott. Anybody remember Ronnie Lott? My guy. And the other one, some of y'all, you may not remember it, and he should be in the Hall of Fame, but he's not. Frank Benefield. He was a shutdown corner with the Cleveland Browns. He was 5'10" and a half like I am, and about 190 like I was. So guess what I did? The power of vision. In college, I got a shirt and I went to the bookstore and had them spray paint on the back of the shirt, Mini Lot. Did y'all hear that? Mini Lot. My teammates laughed me to scorn. They say, what? What is this? Mini Lot. They were laughing, joking. But how many of y'all know they're not laughing now? How about that? I had no idea, it was just God leading me, that I needed to be crystal clear of where I wanted to go, have it written down first, because all of a sudden I think God thinks you're serious when you write stuff down. Get it out your head and write it down. I don't know if you noticed, the Proverbs, the Psalms call your tongue a pen. So be careful of the words you speak. Your tongue is a pen, not a pencil. So you got to be careful when you're frustrated to not say things that you don't mean and not say things that you don't want to happen. So monitor your tongue, especially during your frustrated times.
What do you think that you could create if you walked around the room or walked around this world as this version of yourself? What do you think you could attract if you showed up online and you were visible, creating content as this version of yourself? While you're in this body, I want you to think about one more thing. We're going to travel through time again, but we're not going to meditate and stuff. We already did that. We're good. We're going to think about tonight. Because there's one thing that I know to be sure, 100%. You're all going to leave here. You're going to go to your hotel tonight. You're going to get in your bed. Your head's going to hit the pillow. You're going to look up at the ceiling, and you're going to be thinking about me. No, you're going to be thinking about this concept because, listen, this day is going to end no matter what. No matter if it's amazing, no matter if it's terrible, no matter if you put yourself out there and you create content online, no matter if you have the conversation, no matter if you text the person, no matter if you show up as a person that made you proud or not, you're going to end up in your bed and the day is going to end. I have a tattoo on my wrist. It says, "Time never stops." I didn't get this tattoo because I wanted a tattoo. I got this tattoo because I wanted to be reminded every single day that I don't want to get in my bed and go to sleep with the shoulds. I don't have a morning routine, guys, but I do write down one thing every morning. Jenny, you get this day once. What do you want to do with it? And when I get in my bed and I look up at the ceiling and I can say, holy crap, I did it. That's what creates confidence. That's what creates success over time. Every moment of discomfort is only temporary. That hard workout that you're going to do tomorrow, it's going to end. This speaking engagement that I'm doing right here in front of you guys, it's going to end. I'm going to end up in my bed. I'm going to look up at the ceiling, and I sure as hell do not want to say, I should have done that. Because then I'm another day away from the thing that I wanted to create, and we are not promised the next day. Now, at this point in my talk, with 35 minutes left, I know what you're thinking. Jen, I thought this was supposed to be about social media. Like, I thought you were going to teach us how to build a brand online or how to create content. Why are we talking about discomfort? Why are we traveling through time? And I do teach people how to be seen. I wrote a book called Be Seen. It's all about finding your voice and building your brand and living your dream and creating content. I'm curious, how many of you know that you need to put content out there online on the internet in order to succeed in your business? Raise your hand if you know that. Now keep your hand up if you are actively doing it every day. Oh. Well, I hate to break it to you guys. Sorry, Ben. I'm not going to stand up here and teach you guys tactical tools on how to post on social media. Because if you're not posting consistently on social media and you're not creating content for the people that you want to help and you're not showing up every single day, it's not because you don't know how to do it. You know how to do it. Ask ChatGPT how to do it. In fact, if you guys really want some tactical tools, you can scan this. You can get my 10 laws of content creation. I don't want you guys to leave here without actual tactical stuff from me. But listen, really at the end of the day, if you're not being seen, it's because of the 4-letter F word. Who knows it? What? A little louder? Fear. And I'm also not going to stand up here and tell you guys to be fearless. I'm not going to be like a motivational speaker and tell you to punch fear in the face and go get a tote bag that says, I'm fearless. Because I talk to a lot of really successful people and I ask them all the time, does the imposter syndrome ever go away? Does the fear ever go away? And they all say the exact same damn thing to me. No, Jen, fear doesn't go away. You just get a lot better at doing things with fear there with you.
I'm not here to talk about tactics. We can talk tactics all day long. I'm here to talk about purpose. Every single person in the world talks about purpose. I want purpose. I don't know what my purpose is. Well, fuck, dude, if you can't look around at society right now and realize that you guys have the biggest purpose of any generation that's ever existed of entrepreneurs, I don't know what to fucking tell you, okay? We got a world that's in disarray. We got people divided. We got people that are losing hope. We got people that don't know what to do. They don't believe they can do it. And you know what they need? They need people that they can see doing it. Regular people like you and me, okay? This entire campus that you're sitting in didn't just materialize because I wished it. I didn't have a rich dad who wrote me a check. I didn't have an investor, okay? We gritted this motherfucker out. The first 3 years of my business, I slept on a shitty mattress that I got from Salvation Army with my business partner, all right? There was a piss stain on it. The whole game of sleeping on the mattress was to not put your head on the piss stain, okay? Because when you fall asleep, what happens when you fall asleep? You get a little drool coming out, right? And I was worried that if I drooled on the pee, it would like somehow like get into my mouth. And bro, I didn't want that, all right? So our first day, we sold $7. Our second day, we didn't sell anything. It took us 8 months to have a day over $200. It took us 5 years to open our second store. It took 8 years to come up with the idea of First Form. And as of today, I've been doing this for 26 years. I'm the CEO of multiple different companies. I was the CEO of First Form until 2 years ago, and now Sal is, okay? And we grew up on a shitty little gravel road in a 1,000 square foot house that my dad built, all right? Nobody came and gave us anything. We showed up every single day. We did what we had to do. We took the punches in the face, and we kept going, all right? And there has been thousands of times where I didn't want to do this anymore, just like it is for you. There's days today when I wake up and I think, fuck, I don't want to do this, okay? That never changes. That never changes. And in fact, the bigger responsibilities that you get, the bigger your company gets, the more successful that you become, the harder that is to deal with. Because you're comfortable and you've got a little bit of success and you're making a little bit of money and maybe you drive a nice car and you live in a pretty nice house. But that ain't enough, guys. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because there are people who are looking at you and deciding that whatever it is that you built is what the ceiling is for them. So I want to leave you with a very simple message. You never know who's watching you. You never know who's paying attention. And if we want to fix what's going on in the world, we have to be examples of what personal excellence looks like. We have to take control of the things that we can control, which are very simple. We can control what we eat. We control what we drink. We control the information that we put in our heads. We can control who we spend our time around, and we control where we spend our energy. And if we control those things, the outcome that every single one of you can achieve is immeasurable.
I wrote a note to myself. I posted on my social the other day, and and I'm reading it to you because I write things to myself. To Ben's point, like, you know, every week I make it, well, maybe not every week, because I don't know, Chaz is in here somewhere. He fails some weeks to tie me down. But every week I send a video note to my kids. So I tell them what we did that week. I tell them how I love them. I tell them about, you know, they lost their first tooth, and, you know, Enzo broke his collarbone, and hey, we learned to ride dirt bikes this weekend. Like, I talk to him every week, and my goal is that when I die, and when they turn 21, that I will have basically 20 hours of footage of me progressing my life, telling them their life story to them. So I'm extremely, extremely passionate about chaptering my life and writing notes to myself and leaving notes for my children, because life gets hard. That's what you realize. It's really hard. And some people wear that hard a little bit differently, but it doesn't mean that it's not hard. And something I take a great deal of pride in is I want you to know, like, I struggle too. I struggle with the exact same shit you guys struggle with. Self-confidence is built, but it can be shattered very quickly. And so I write things to myself to remind myself when tough times do come, I leave myself little notes in good and bad that, hey, that's your brain playing a little tricks on you. You got to conquer it. You got to mentally work through it. You got to continue to keep moving. And I always tell my team, right foot, left foot. Put your head down, put one foot in front of the other and keep walking. Because in time, the sun will rise and you'll be okay. So this is a note this week. Just remember, right before you get ready to level up, it gets heavy. Just like a muscle, it gets stronger under tension. It's in those moments when the doubt creeps in, progress seems to slow down, and the setbacks seem to magnify. Most people take it as a sign to back off and play it safe, but that's just simply a test from God to see how bad you want it. Take it as a reflection moment, as if God is asking, are you really built to endure what it is that you say you want? If the answer is yes, then put the proof in the persistence and effort in the actions in which you put forth. Those who stop, they stay where they are. Those who push through, they earn a life they once dreamed about. They earned a life they once dreamed about. And remember, winning isn't for everybody. Don't just be a dreamer, be a doer. Right foot, left foot, keep going. And that's a note, and I want to share that with you because as I stand here, I'm going through struggle. But I understand my mission and my power and my ability and the gift that God gave me. I want to go share it.
But I'm going to go through these top 3 truths. Who's ready for truth number 1? Say yeah. Yeah. Knew I loved you guys. All right, truth number 1. Talk directly to your core avatar if you want to play small. I know, nobody believes me right now because you've probably heard the exact opposite. Everybody's dying on this hill. Like, you got to talk directly to your person, call your person out. Kind of. But I am a huge fan of dying on this other hill over here that there is a time to speak to your audience, of course. That would be silly to say there isn't. But if you are trying to grow right now, which I think absolutely everybody should be in growth mode right now, it is time to talk to as many people as you can. Because if I call you out, if I'm trying to speak to perimenopausal women and sell them jeans, and I start my video by saying, if you're a perimenopausal woman over the age of 45 and you can't lose those 10 pounds, we're all scrolling. Except for maybe 1 or 2 people in this room, maybe, I don't know. But most of us are going to scroll. And what is that going to tell the algorithm and everybody else? Not valuable. You didn't even give me a chance where I could care. You know how many videos I have been roped into watching that I never would have watched otherwise, but I ended up really caring about this small jewelry business or this tax company because they were great storytellers and they sold me in a way that funneled me down psychologically to care about something I wasn't in the mood to consume at the time. So sometimes you can call out your audience, but if you want to grow, I'm going to say save that for middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel content. Because if you can go wider with your top of funnel and speak to more people, talk to tangential themes around what your ICP or core avatar is like, then you're gonna have the opportunity to get in front of more eyeballs, to get more leads, to get more sales. Because what happens when you watch a video from somebody that ends up on your feed, you watch that video, the algorithm's gonna be like, ooh, cool. I'm gonna show them a second and a third and a fourth to see if you want them to see if they want to follow you and they want to join your life, right? But if you don't go a little bit wider, you're never going to have that opportunity. Yes, you may grow from 10,000 to 30,000 followers, but I'm talking about 2 very different things here. We can have that content, but right now, it is not the time to play small because we are in the greatest wave of free advertising that the world has ever seen. Ever. And we've never seen a time like this before in the history of marketing and advertising. Outside of the grace of God, this is the best gift to all of us right now. Personal brands, you guys, is scalable for the first time in history. Not just brand, personal brand, thanks to AI. This is an arms race now, you guys. We are no longer in the information age. We are in the intelligence era. AI has leveled the playing field for all of us. We all have the same tools and the same information, yes? It comes down to who is going to use it better. If you get the flu and you don't feel like making a video for 2 weeks or you get burnout, you can still have 15 videos go out a day.
Have you ever had somebody on your team ask for more money and you kind of like, you didn't laugh out loud, but in your head you laugh because they're not performing at the current level and they're asking for more money? Am I the only one or? Yeah. So that happened once. So the leadership training was essentially, I think I called it like how to create value. And it was great because I showed them, okay, the 7 levels of creating value for an organization that will get you compensated. Level 1 was do your job. And I said, some of you are having a hard time doing that, so don't even think about going down the levels. Level 2 was do your job without being asked to do your job. It's like that was the, but I'm telling you, if you don't train people, give them a ladder. Guess what happens when you put a ladder in front of somebody? They want to climb it. Some of you guys don't realize you haven't put a ladder in front of your teams. You haven't taught them how to learn. You haven't encouraged them. You haven't created the system. The interesting part about building your people, I see it all the time, maybe you've experienced this, where you have somebody on your team and they're a rock star, and then they leave, and a friend of yours is like, oh yeah, we hired that person who used to work for you, and then, but they're not working out the way we thought. It's like, yeah, because you're not operating the way we operate. See, our jobs as a leader is to build the machine that builds the machine. This is building the machine. This is saying, how do we identify talent? How do we support that talent? How do we retain that talent? Train, don't tell will shift your whole business. Does that make sense? Say yes? Yes. All right. Who wants to know number 3? Yes. All right. This is one of the most important. Number 3, know their dreams. A few months ago, I was doing a podcast with a really successful entrepreneur, and we were talking about people, and he says something. He starts going off. He's like, yeah, I have this guy on my team, and I tell him, here's what we're doing, and if you help me do this, and all this stuff happens, and like, just stop being distracted with other stuff, then like, help me do this, and we'll win. And the whole time he's talking, he thinks he's telling me that he's like, I'm trying to create opportunities for people. Why can't they see it? And the whole time he's talking, for 2 or 3 minutes as he goes off about this opportunity for a team member, he's frustrated. I'm going, dude, you don't know what their dreams are. If I transcribed the language you just used and read it back to you and it said, is this about you or about them? It was all about you. I need you to understand this. This is the flip. When you stop making it about you and you start making it about your team, everything will shift. I was coaching one of my private clients, Tom. I said, hey man, first thing we got to get clear on is vision. I need you to paint a massive vision. And whatever you think is big, bigger. And he goes off. He visualizes it. He's all excited. Next call, he says, hey man, I took what you said and we did the process that you taught, but then I visualized it. And he shows me his vision board. And he opens it up, shares the screen. There weren't any other people there. There was the massive amounts of houses and the private jets and the yachts and the cars and there's no people. And I said to him, where are the millionaires? He goes, who are the millionaires? I said, you want to create a multi-billion-dollar company, right? He goes, yeah. I said, you better fucking create some millionaires. It never occurred to him that in his quest to create personal wealth, that helping other people get rich is a smart idea.
So if I can walk into a room like this, and I know the self-talk is going on. I know that you're making excuses for why you're not starting. I know that you're making excuses why you haven't even really started your year yet. Then I'm not gonna waste your time, and I'm not gonna waste my time, nor my energy and my breath, allowing you to sit there. I'm gonna tell you to just stop. Stop and finally lean in to the opportunity for you to become the very best that you can be in every aspect of your life. And I'm gonna be very, very direct today because that's how I am and I care that much, but I am tired of getting on social media. I am sick and tired of getting on social media and hearing these individuals who talk about business and they talk about life and they call themselves leaders and coaches and they talk about how you need to take a hiatus from your family is really what they're saying. They're saying, hey, just work really hard because you got this really big initiative and here's where we're going. And many people listen to that and they say, oh yeah, that's the way. I gotta go and tell my family or my kids, like, I'm not gonna see you for 6 months, but like where we're going, it's gonna be great. The amount of regret that you live with when you behave that way, you gotta stop. And you have to lean in, and I hope you pay attention to today, because every one of these speakers has been selected for a reason. Every single one of these speakers who in their way are the very best in the world at what they do. And that isn't just, hey, I'm on the stage saying it. I feel so blessed that these friends and individuals are here to share with all of you, because these are some of the best in the world that do what they do. And when you pay attention, every single one of them, they pay attention to their nutrition. They pay attention to taking care of themselves. They pay attention to their families. They pay attention to their loved ones. And they pay attention to growing their businesses. So I think one of the most valuable lessons you can maybe take from today, which often can be a hidden lesson in opportunities like this, is to stop thinking that you have to sacrifice maybe the most important things in your life to have the success that you see in your mind's eye that you want. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that I believe the opportunity in order to attack, and so many of you, to be able to have amazing relationships and to watch and to be part of your lives and to help you grow. I can be my very best. I'm not perfect, but because I try my very best in my home, as a father and as a husband. And I try my very best when I go to work out. And I try my very best to eat well. And I try my very best in my business. And when I have an opportunity to be with all of you, I'm gonna try my best to give you everything that I have. But the key has to be you choosing to actually give it your very best in those areas, and watch the confidence that you build when you finally step into giving yourself permission to live a life of great discipline. See, far too many people, they try to operate or grow based upon talent. Confidence does not come from talent. Confidence comes from discipline. And this is what I find to be interesting, is you can get on social media and you can hear some of these messages and then you lean into, oh, that's the way that I'm supposed to do it. But we forget that you're actually losing confidence maybe in the areas that are most important to you. I would much rather work as hard as I possibly can to be able to take time off to go to Kennedy's basketball tournament or to Isaac's basketball tournament, or to be able to do things during the day with Amy, to go out and have lunch. I want you guys to stop listening to the excuses, the voices of people telling you that you cannot have discipline in every area of your life. So I ask of you today to step into hearing, maybe differently than you have, giving yourself permission to really think about that permission being for you to live your best life in all areas, and pay attention to the speakers and how they intentionally live their lives.